Not every heart attack starts with chest pain. That is the first mistake most people make. They imagine a heart attack as something obvious, dramatic, sudden. A man clutching his chest, falling to the ground, calling for help immediately. But real life is often very different. Sometimes it starts quietly. So quietly, you don't even realize it is dangerous. And that is exactly what makes it deadly. Because when the body whispers instead of screams, most people ignore it. This is the story of a 60-year-old man. A normal man. Not someone sick. Not someone weak. Just an ordinary person living an ordinary life. Still active. Still independent. Still doing daily routines without help. He never expected that one normal morning would turn into a medical emergency. It started like any other day. He woke up early. The sunlight was soft through the window. Nothing unusual. No pain. No warning. He stretched his body slowly, like always. Got out of bed. Walked to the kitchen. And prepared his breakfast. A simple routine he had done for years. Tea, something light to eat. Nothing special. Everything felt completely normal. Too normal. And that is where the problem begins in many heart attacks. Because danger does not always feel like danger at first. While eating breakfast, he felt something. It was not pain. It was not sharp. It was just a strange discomfort in his upper stomach. He paused for a moment, looked down, tried to understand what it was. It felt like indigestion, something he had experienced before. Maybe something did not agree with him. Maybe the food was a little heavy. So he did what most people do. He ignored it. He told himself, it will go away. And continued his morning. He sat down in front of the TV, took a sip of water, tried to relax. At first, nothing changed. The discomfort stayed mild, not strong enough to worry him, not sharp enough to scare him, just enough to be noticed and ignored. But inside his body, something had already started, a process he could not see, a problem quietly building in the background, slowly, silently, dangerously. After some time, the feeling changed. It did not stay in one place anymore. It moved from the stomach to the chest. A slight pressure appeared, like something sitting on him. Not pain yet, just pressure, heavy enough to notice, but easy to dismiss. He paused again, put his hand on his chest, tried to understand it, but still, he did not think it was serious, because it was not bad enough in his mind. And that is one of the most dangerous assumptions in health emergencies, waiting for pain to become severe enough. Then something unexpected happened. A new symptom appeared. His jaw started to hurt, not strongly, but in a strange way, a discomfort he could not explain. He touched his face, confused. Why would jaw pain come from indigestion? He tried to find a logical reason. Maybe a tooth issue. Maybe muscle tension. Something simple. Something harmless. But deep inside, the connection was wrong. Very wrong. A few minutes later, his body reacted again. He started sweating. Cold sweat. Even though he was sitting still. Even though the room was not hot. This time, he noticed it clearly. He wiped his forehead. Looked around. Tried to understand what was happening. And now, for the first time, a small feeling of fear appeared. Not panic, just confusion. Something was not adding up anymore. Then came another change. Weakness. Suddenly, his energy dropped. His body felt heavier. Standing up felt difficult. Even sitting felt tiring. He leaned back slowly, took a deeper breath, and realized something important. This was not normal fatigue. This was something different, something unfamiliar. Something unsettling. He stayed quiet, trying to observe his body, waiting for things to settle. But instead of getting better, the symptoms stayed, even slightly increased. The pressure in his chest was still there. The jaw discomfort was still present. The sweating did not stop completely. And now, breathing felt a little harder than before. This is the moment many people miss. Because nothing is extreme. They delay action. They wait. They think. They hope it passes. And that is exactly what he did. He did not rush. He did not panic. He stayed still, trying to see what happens next. But his body was no longer in a normal state. Something serious was developing inside. And slowly, a realization began forming in his mind. This is not just indigestion. This is not just tiredness. This is not normal. Something is wrong. Very wrong. For the first time, he seriously considered calling for help. But even then, he did not fully understand how urgent it really was. He is still sitting there, trying to make sense of what his body is telling him. The discomfort is still there. The pressure in his chest, still there. The jaw pain, still there. And now, even his breathing feels slightly heavier. Something is clearly wrong, but he still does not fully understand how serious it is. Because the symptoms are not dramatic enough. And that is exactly how heart attacks often mislead people. They don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper. He stands up slowly. Maybe walking will help. Maybe it is just indigestion. Maybe it will pass. But as he takes a few steps, his body feels weaker, not suddenly collapsing, but clearly not normal. He stops, places his hand on the table for support, and in that quiet moment, something inside him finally clicks. This is not getting better. It is getting worse. Now a new feeling appears. Fear. Not loud panic, but a deep, uncomfortable realization. Something is seriously wrong inside his body, and he can no longer ignore it. He looks at his phone, pauses, thinks for a few seconds. This is the most important moment of his life, because many people hesitate here. They wait. They see if it improves. But he doesn't wait anymore. He calls emergency services, and that one decision changes everything. Within minutes, help is on the way. The silence of his home is now replaced with urgency. Outside, the sound of an approaching ambulance becomes louder. Red lights flashing. Time is now critical, because in a heart attack, every minute matters. Paramedics arrive quickly. They assess him immediately. His symptoms are carefully checked. Jaw pain, sweating, chest pressure, weakness, breathing difficulty. And now the situation becomes clear to them. This is not indigestion. This is a cardiac emergency. He is carefully placed on a stretcher. No delay. No waiting. Everything is fast but controlled. The ambulance doors close, and the siren begins. A sound that now means one thing. Time is life. Inside the ambulance, he lies still. Try to breathe normally. Still confused. Still unsure. But now surrounded by professionals who understand exactly what is happening. They monitor his heart closely. His condition is serious, but he is still alive. Because he acted in time, the ambulance arrives at the hospital. Doctors are already prepared. No waiting in line. No delay. He is taken directly into emergency care. Machines are attached immediately. Heart monitoring begins. Blood tests are ordered. And within moments, the truth is confirmed. It is a heart attack. Not stress. Not indigestion. Not fatigue. A real cardiac blockage. One of the arteries supplying blood to the heart is restricted. This is why oxygen is not reaching the heart properly. And this is why the symptoms appeared in unusual places, like the jaw and stomach. Inside the human body, the heart and nerves are deeply connected. When the heart is not getting enough oxygen, it sends warning signals. But these signals do not always stay in the chest. They can travel to the jaw, to the neck, to the stomach. This is called referred pain. And that is why many people misunderstand it. So what feels like indigestion, tooth pain, fatigue, anxiety can sometimes actually be a heart attack. Doctors warn that these symptoms should never be ignored. Jaw pain without reason, upper stomach discomfort, cold, sweating, shortness of breath, unusual tiredness, chest pressure, or heaviness, nausea, or dizziness. Even one of these symptoms, if unusual for you, should be taken seriously, because heart attacks do not always start dramatically. They often begin quietly, like in this story. Before we continue, take a moment. If you are finding this video helpful, please like this video. It helps spread this information to more people, especially seniors who may not know these warning signs, and consider subscribing, because we share simple health stories that can actually save lives. Now let's continue. One of the biggest dangers in heart attacks is delay. People wait because the pain is not severe, it feels like. Digestion, they think it will pass, they don't want to overreact. But heart attacks do not wait, and time lost is heart muscle lost. In this case, the man was lucky because he did not wait too long. The ambulance arrived in time. The hospital acted quickly, and treatment began immediately. Doctors begin stabilizing his condition. Medications are given. Blood flow is carefully monitored. The goal is simple: restore oxygen to the heart as fast as possible. Every second matters, and slowly, his condition begins to stabilize. His breathing becomes easier. The pressure reduces slightly. The danger is not completely gone, but it is now under control. He survived the most critical phase. After stabilizing him, doctors explain something very important. If you had waited longer, the damage could have been permanent, or even fatal. This is not an exaggeration. This is reality. Heart attacks are time-sensitive emergencies. He survived, but now he understands something deeply. It was not indigestion. It was not minor. It was a silent heart attack that almost took his life. And what comes next is even more important, because now he must understand how to prevent this from happening again, and how to recognize it before it is too late. He is now safe, but he is not the same. He lies in the hospital bed surrounded by quiet machines, soft beeping sounds, and doctors moving carefully around him. The danger has passed, but the realization is just beginning, because now he understands something very important. He almost did not make it. The doctors explained that the blockage in his heart was serious, but because he arrived in time, they were able to restore blood flow. That single decision, calling emergency services, is what saved his life. He looks around the hospital room quietly, still trying to process everything. Just a few hours ago, he thought it was indigestion, something simple, something harmless. Now he knows the truth. It was never simple. It was never harmless. It was a heart attack. The doctors sit with him and explain carefully. A heart attack does not always start with chest pain. In many older adults, especially seniors, the symptoms can be misleading. They can appear in different parts of the body, like the jaw, the stomach, even the back or shoulders. They explain something important. The heart and nervous system are connected in complex ways. When blood flow is reduced, the body sends distress signals, but the brain does not always interpret them correctly. That is why many people think it's indigestion, it's fatigue, it's nothing serious, when in reality, it is something life-threatening. The biggest danger is not the pain itself. It is confusion, because confusion leads to delay, and delay leads to damage. Heart muscle begins to weaken every minute without oxygen. That is why doctors always say, time is hard. After recovery, the doctor gives him clear advice, simple steps that can reduce the risk of another heart attack. Regular heart checkups, controlling blood pressure, managing cholesterol levels, staying physically active with light exercise, eating balanced meals, avoiding smoking and excess stress, not ignoring unusual symptoms, and most importantly, never waiting when something feels wrong. even if it seems small, even if it feels not serious. Because this story proves something very important. Small symptoms can hide big dangers. He sits quietly in his hospital bed, thinking about everything. The morning, the stomach discomfort, the jaw pain, the sweating, the confusion, all the moments he almost ignored, and he realizes something deeply emotional. He was lucky, but not everyone is. Some people wait too long. Some people assume it will pass. Some people do not get a second chance. The body always gives warnings, but those warnings are not always obvious. Sometimes they are soft, sometimes confusing, sometimes misleading, but they are always important. And now he understands something he will never forget. Listening to your body can save your life. Ignoring it can cost your life. If this story helped you understand something important, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about, a parent, a friend, a loved one, because this information can save a life. And if you want more simple health stories like this, subscribe to the channel. We break down serious health topics in a way everyone can understand, because sometimes the simplest knowledge is the most powerful protection.